Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Technology Mafia, and today I wanted to show you guys what I use for filming and talk a little bit about the Sony Alpha A6000. And I just want to show you kind of what gear I have with me and why I made the switch from Canon DSLRs to Sony mirrorless, because a lot of people are making this switch. This is the A6000. I mean, this is as small as it is a mirrorless camera. There is not a little mirror that flips up, which means that this camera can be much more compact than a DSLR. When I was first looking at these, doing research, I thought that these were kind of like point and shoot cameras, and I'm not a big fan of point and shoot cameras because you point, you push the button, and you end up waiting 4 or 5 seconds, and in that 4 or 5 seconds, you've missed the shot. I mean, that's a shot. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can shoot all day. You can shoot 11 frames per second with this camera. The number one thing that I like about the A6000 is just its form factor. With the 60D that I had, I always had a giant bag. This is a small one that I have now for the A6000, but I would have a bag that's substantially larger than this one. This camera, however, I can stick into a jacket pocket. I can jam it into a jeans pocket, in fact, and it's much easier to conceal and take with you. And they always say the best camera you can have is the one that you take with you. The second thing that I like about the A6000 is just the image quality. The images, in my opinion, are sharper, more clear, and overall better. Some professionals really enjoy the images that come out of Canon DSLRs, but in my view, the images are just more dynamic coming out of the Sony mirrorless, because there isn't anything interfering between the light coming through the lens and the light that's hitting the sensor. So the third thing that I like about the A6000 in particular is the Wi-Fi feature. Snap it, there it is. Now, let's say I want to post up this picture on my Instagram. If I had a Canon camera, I would take my cord and upload it and copy it. With this camera, this is what I do. I hit the menu button. I go over to the little icon that has a Wi-Fi, and I select Send to Smartphone. And this camera sets up a Wi-Fi hotspot. Now, I take my iPhone and I go to connect to the Wi-Fi setting, and then I open up the Sony Play Memories app, which is completely free, and it will show me every single image that is on this A6000. And I could select one, I could select 100, and copy all of them to my camera roll on the iPhone instantly. I mean, it takes a few seconds to download all of them. So that's a very cool feature on the go. You don't have to worry about having a computer to transfer images from your camera to your phone. You can text them, you can upload them online, you can do anything you want with them, post them up on Instagram all day directly from the connection between this camera and your phone. So that's awesome. The fourth thing that I do enjoy about the A6000 is the fact that you have so many more options for lenses. Not necessarily native lenses. I think that Canon has a much wider variety of native lenses. The same native lenses for the Sony Alpha line are slightly more expensive. Now, the A6000 comes with a power zoom lens. This is the 16-50. It does have optical image stabilization. However, it is slow at 3.5 to 5.6. And you can see when you turn it on, it zooms out, and as you zoom or focus, it will move this lens barrel. For a zoom, it is very compact, and I do like that. So what Sony offers is an opportunity for you to go beyond the world of native lenses and explore other options. So I went out and I purchased this lens here, which is SMC Pentax M. This is a f1.4, 1.4 50mm prime. Now this lens is from the 70s, I believe. It's from, it's Pentax camera. It's all manual. You have an aperture control, so you could see that. and then you have a focus. So I will probably do a video detailing this. The great thing about the Alpha line is that you could take this, which is an adapter, and again, I should probably do a separate video on this altogether. But it's an adapter, and you could take your kit lens off. You can put your adapter on. And now you can mount something like this, which is a vintage lens, onto the adapter. The result of this is some pretty amazing image quality, and I'll show you some sample photos right now and some sample video as well, just to give you an idea of what's possible with something like this. And let me talk about price too. If you were to go out and buy a Canon f1.4 lens, a 50mm prime, that would cost you about $300 to $400. This lens was $50 US. This adapter was $12 US shipped. So for about $62, you have quite a piece of glass. The other thing that I like about this camera is for photos, this has one of the fastest automatic focusing systems in the world. There's 179 autofocus points for this camera, and it picks up focus brilliantly fast, much faster than any of my Canon DSLRs. And I've owned everything from the Rebel XS up to the 60D. I've upgraded usually every 2 years my Canon camera bodies, and I've had a wide variety of lenses as well. Right now the 70D is probably the closest. I have yet to test them side by side, but I still think the Sony has the edge when it comes to automatic focusing. For video, this camera is amazing because it shoots 1080p at 60 frames per second, which none of the Canon DSLRs does that I'm aware of that is 60D or below. 70D doesn't do it. All of those are stuck to 30 frames per second. So when you're shooting fast action, if you're running or shooting your kids playing soccer, for example, you get much greater clarity with something like this over a Canon DSLR. Some of the drawbacks. So I will talk about, number one is the battery life. So the battery life on the A6000 is probably about a half, maybe a third of the Canon 60D battery life. On the bright side, the batteries for the A6000 are very inexpensive. I went out and I bought a kit, which I have in this bag off of Amazon, that came with a little charger, so you can plug that into a wall, and I don't know why this, and 2 batteries, one here and one that's in the camera. And this was $20 for 2 batteries and a charger, and they work just as well as the OEM batteries. So what I always do is I will bring these 2 batteries with me, and I'll put them in my jacket pocket. The other cool thing is you have the option of using inexpensive things such as a Steadicam. So this Steadicam is the S40. It's available on Amazon. I spent $50 on this, and it's not perfect and it takes some getting used to, but once you balance it, once you balance your camera on top of this and you practice quite a bit, I've seen some pretty stable shots with something like this, very inexpensive. That is it. I mean, that's just a brief overview of some of the things that I enjoy about the A6000. I do get that question in the comments fairly frequently. What do you use for your videos? So this is all I use. I mean, this is all of the equipment that I have. The A6000, the kit lens, 50mm prime f1.4, a little tripod that I'm using now, a bag, some extra batteries, and a little stabilizer. And that is it. I bought this camera with the kit lens for about $479. So $479, and you add up everything else in here, about $650 worth of equipment, and you get some amazing video and amazing photos just from this kit. I never thought I would switch from Canon over to Sony, but I'm glad now that I did. If you guys have any questions, please post them below. like this video if you enjoyed it, learned something. And thank you for watching. Thank you for all of the positive comments and support on all of my videos. I'm constantly learning, and hopefully you'll see that the content improves over time as I finesse some of this equipment and the skills and my editing and all of that good stuff. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, and have a nice day. Bye.